Welcome to Massage Chair Relief Live, the podcast designed to educate, inform, discuss, and critique the relatively new massage chair industry. Join your host, Dr. Alan Widener, to become a massage chair expert and avoid multiple pain points in your search for the perfect massage chair.
Hello, this is Dr. Alan Widener from Massage Chair Relief. Thank you for waiting a couple of extra minutes for us to get started. Thank you for attending this live broadcast. Our guests today are Jim Coppins, sorry, Jim, president of Infinity Massage Chairs, and Michael Milone, the VP of retail sales for Infinity. Now, both of you have been on previous broadcasts with us in the past, and honestly, we haven't done a whole lot over the last 6 to 8 months, and I think it's seized again to try to get familiar with distributors such as yourselves that are having new products come out and kind of reassessing the industry and where we're at and where things are headed. But thank you so much for being here. Welcome to this broadcast.
Thanks for having us, Doctor.
You bet. And you're in New Hampshire. I'm in Utah, and it's as clear as though you're right next door in the same room. So I'm grateful for the clarity. Well, why don't we just begin by it's been kind of a tumultuous year with regards to tariffs, and it's kind of a crapshoot, isn't it? Because you don't really know. Especially in the beginning, you didn't know what the tariffs were going to be, what the percent was. It seemed to change quite a bit, and I know that created some consternation for distributors and for retailers, and of course for the consumers. But maybe and that's just one topic. But Jim, is there anything that you've kind of you could kind of share with us in this discussion about the status of the industry?
In regards to tariffs first, do you want to touch upon that?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It was extremely difficult to run a business when you don't know what your final cost was going to be with the tariffs going. At one point, it was almost like an embargo at 150-something%. But when it came down to 30% was a manageable number, I think it definitely impacted everybody in the industry. As you saw, prices had to get raised across the board. We tried to absorb as much as we could. We had our manufacturers absorb some, but obviously in the end, to the consumer, prices increase. So I feel like we're somewhat back in the same boat right now. Obviously, there's been a ruling by the Supreme Court that the original tariffs were illegal according to the U.S. Supreme Court. And now we're back to a position where they're down from 30%, then they were reduced to 20% at one point by the current administration. And now they're looking like they're going to be 10%. There's word on the street that they're going to try to raise it to 15%. So at this point, it's manageable. Whether 10 or 20%, it's just a matter of how it impacts operations as far as where we end up from a cost perspective for the end consumer. It makes it a challenge to the business when your costs continually go up and down. To the end consumer and to you, Dr. Widener, obviously we don't want to be raising and dropping our prices every 2 months. It makes it for an untenable situation. So we've tried to maintain prices as we had once we came out of the original embargo, so we say, and it looks like it's probably going to stay that way. So we're optimistic that things just level out here at the 10 or 15% range, and then hopefully it'll be smooth sailing after that. As far as the state of the industry and state of Infinity, I think you've probably seen it. We've seen it. I think there's been a little uncertainty in the marketplace, but health and wellness is always a category that I think the consumer is interested in and wants to spend in. We really haven't seen softness in sales across any of our channels. As you know, we're really well diversified in the industry, probably the most diversified as far as all the different sectors that we sell into, whether it be resale, wholesale, et cetera. So we've felt good about where the business has been in the last 12, 24 months, navigating through the tariffs and moving forward. I think we feel the same.
Yeah, I think, especially since, November, I feel like more than anything, we've had pretty good consistency within sales and not having too much drop off and whatnot. But I mean, I feel like since November, it's really started to actually pick back up again, which is hopefully the consumer having some faith in the way that the economy is going to be going and how the government's running it. So, I mean, I could say with the retail channel, we're starting to see a lot more growth and people more confident in the retail sector, if you will. And of course, like Jim touched on, the health and wellness aspect of it. People are always worried about that no matter what, but we've had a great start in that channel and people believing in the product and wanting to floor it, wanting to resell it, because more and more customers are reaching out to retailers. I mean, I know that's what you specialize in, Alan, but I mean, they are looking for massage chairs, which is a good sign.
Yeah,
Definitely. I mean, as far as where Infinity is, I think I think we consider ourselves has been a leader in the industry for a long time as far as product and innovation, and also on the back end. I know something that's always near and dear to your heart is our support. And did you ever have the David Figler on? Did he ever do a?
We danced around the idea a couple of times, but I think he was in China a couple of times.
Okay.
And I just kind of let it go.
You know, David is EVP of Brand Management and Product Development. He came from Brookstone, and he was Vice President of Product Development for Brookstone. And I feel like David always puts us in a position where we stay in a pole position in the industry as far as technology. And we've always been hyper focused on support on the back end for the customer, whether no matter what channel they bought the product from. And it's funny, Doctor. The other day I knew we were going to come on, and I was looking at the assets that we have dedicated to support on the back end. And if I take out shipping team and finance, and if we just look at the customer service and the tech support group, we have, I think, 15 people currently dedicated to customer service and tech support. And I think there's probably competitors, and who I would consider the big 2-3 companies or brands in the US. I think there's some of our competitors that probably don't have 15 people in their headquarters, and we have 15 people just dedicated to customer service and tech support.
Yeah.
So I think that's a testament to who we are.
Well, and you also have some consistency, like like Ian, for example. He's been with you forever and a day, and I know that I can count on him if we run into any kind of a roadblock or whatever. And your people are very responsive, and the reason it's such a big deal to me is because we have very hands-on approach to support with our customers, and we want to be a part of the process. We don't want to just shuck them off onto you guys and hope for the best. We want to be actively engaged, because we've had experiences where the ball was dropped, and they came back at us 6 months later. The customer did. They were upset, and they kind of blamed us for it. We don't want to be. I didn't like that feeling, and so you guys have always been very, very, very good, very consistent. I mean, there's turnover, and every company has to deal with that and training and whatnot. But you guys you're very dependable, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen, Doctor. And when you just mentioned turnover, I was on an insurance call the other day, and our turnover in New Hampshire is almost non-existent. I mean, we have a culture committee. We really pride ourselves in having a great environment for our team members. We do bowling events, and we do an event every single month, whether it's darts, St. Patrick's Day, cornhole. We have cookouts in the summer. We have Christmas parties. So we have a great atmosphere and a great team here, and that lends itself to almost zero turnover. And as you know, with the product and technology, that intellectual property, and you mentioned Ian Patterson, who's been with us, I think, pushing 20 years, that intellectual property to not only know the product, but know the industry and know the customers and what they're looking for, lends itself to a great experience for your customer. And again, it's something we've prided ourselves on from the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a dang good job at it. It can be a challenge, and as companies grow, sometimes the speed with which their support, and their not just support but logistics, keeps up with the growth can be a real challenge, and we've experienced that with some of the distributors. It's like an ongoing challenge. And then, of course, if there's a downturn, then they've got to negotiate through that, and that sometimes will affect how they come across to our customer and to us. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
You
Plus,
mentioned once, Doctor. I mean, our biggest challenge from day one has been the astronomical growth. Keeping the organization to have it keep up with the growth on the front end from a sales perspective. And you had said at one point, Doctor, I remember the conversation. You told me that you felt like at one point, and this is probably maybe coming out of COVID, maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago, that you felt like our service had fallen off a little bit, and it was tough to hear. But we went out shortly thereafter. We went out and spent like $20,000 on an upgraded phone system and software. Well, we have call back capability now, where if you get into the queue and you don't want to wait more than a minute, you enter in your phone, press 1, enter in your phone number, and then you'll keep your line and your place in line and get a call back. And I think we're probably the only one in this industry that has that, or the only one in the industry that really has live bodies on tech support. Instead of having to send in a form or request a service call, we have 10, 12 people down there, live bodies on the phone. Wow. In customer service, but we take it seriously.
I didn't know that. I mean, I like that technological feature where you can get in line and then you don't have to sit on the phone and they'll call you back. I like that feature, but yeah, I didn't know you had that. And also, I mean, it's having the knowledge to know how to handle each of your new models. And I know with the new models you're coming out with.
Absolutely. On any given day, we can take 60, 70, 80, 90, 120 calls a day into the customer service and tech support. So obviously nobody wants to sit around and wait on the phone. So it was one of the things we felt like we needed to do to keep our service up in that A+ level.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you guys do a dang good job. I really like it. And the other thing is again, with consistency, I mean, Michael, Jim, you and the other Michael, you guys have, you've been around forever. And it's like, I don't know, it's comfortable knowing that you're there, and sometimes in an organization, there's a high turnover. You don't know who's going to be there for you, or whatever. But yeah, you guys have been, I'd say you're the epitome of consistency. And
great to hear.
We appreciate that a lot. I'm kind of make some commentaries when I do my massage chair industry update, but one of the things that I've talked about this before, and I'd be interested to hear your take on it. It seems like we're seeing more and more off-brand type chairs coming into the market. It's almost like someone is importing a bunch of chairs to sell. As a matter of fact, there's a friend of ours here in Utah who is a very entrepreneurial person, and we had them over for dinner one day, and they all know that I'm in the massage chair industry, of course. And she asked me, how hard would it be to import some chairs and just sell them? You're asking the wrong guy. And so I proceed to go into a belabored discussion of all the hassles of importing, tariffs, support, a warranty that's legit, the customers, having accessibility through customer support to get your problem solved, and and returns and availability of parts. And I think to myself, I don't know if everybody that gets involved in the industry actually thinks this stuff through, because we've had some customers who have purchased chairs, these we call them no-name brand or off-brand chairs, and there's nowhere they can try them. They just see some slick marketing and advertising on television, or not television. Sorry, there I'm a boomer. Again, my wife would be right here. She'd say you're a boomer on the internet, and then they call and they say, hey. And they call us for support. We can't find the part for this chair. We can't find the people that sold us this chair. And I think,
Doctor, we're laughing because Michael and I could probably go on for a few hours telling you about stories just like that, from mom and pops to, we've known some big name. Michael's dealt with some big name retailers who've tried to go with those no name brands or tried to import on their own. And the back end is an animal. It's the 800-pound gorilla. Our warehouse, and you've been to our operation in Seabrook, New Hampshire, that 35,000 square foot warehouse, almost at least probably 70-80% of that is parts to support the product. And it's there's in a massage chair today, there's probably 100 times the amount of technology in a massage chair than there is in my laptop. It's sensors, PCB boards everywhere, motors. It's complicated. And to anybody to think, and I mean, we've had retailers, we know people who do events that thought they were going to bring in their own chairs, and all we do is feel bad for that end consumer that kind of gets bamboozled by somebody with some slick marketing, and then they can't get the chair fixed. As the saying goes, if it was easy, everybody would do it, and people who think it's easy and try it, they fail all the time. Doctor, how many brands do you know have come and gone since you've been in this industry? You couldn't count them.
You can't. Yeah. And the interesting thing is, they have no recourse, zero recourse if they can't get their chair fixed. So we call them disposable chairs because it's like you use it until it doesn't work, and then you try to get support. You can't get support. You can't find parts. You don't even know what factory the chairs were built in, and then they end up getting rid of it. And two things can happen. They'll either come to us and get a reputable chair or a good chair from a reputable company, or they will just be so disillusioned with the industry that they'll never get another chair, or at least for a long time, not even want to venture into this market. So it's tough.
I was going to say, Doctor, I mean, you've known from the beginning. I mean, when we develop a chair, not only the time it takes to develop a new product, I mean, we're looking at 12, sometimes 14, 16 months from start to finish. We're not just going to a random factory, pulling a chair over. I mean, the QC that happens and what David Figler does over here for us, our guys on the ground over in Asia, I mean, we from start to finish could be anywhere from 12 to 16 months on making sure it's a high quality product from our facility. Yeah. And then on top of that, we talk about parts, right? I mean, these companies that are bringing in these chairs, they don't have warehousing parts. I mean, we won't launch a new product unless we have about a container of parts that match up to that chair. We're not sending our guys into the warehouses saying, hey, I need a new footrest, pull it off a new chair, or I need a new back mechanism. Like, we have backup parts so that when this chair hits the market, we're able to support it with the highest level possible.
Yeah. And you guys do a good job. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to even remember a time when you didn't have a part and you had to order it from China. I think, geez, honestly, I mean, this does happen, but I can't even think of an instance where you guys didn't even have a part and you had to order it from China and we had to wait for 2 months to get it. These chairs become so important in people's lives. I mean, it's dramatic. Like when people's chairs go down, they're panicking because it's become such an important part of their wellness, their health, their sanity, their stress relief. And then when they tell us there's a problem with the chair, and we say, okay, well, we'll get on it. Well, how quickly can you fix it? How quickly? And like, it's panic. And then when we tell them, it's going to be a couple months before we can get a part, that's a concern. That's a real big concern. And
when you go down market, Doctor, for the no-name chairs and the off brands, I mean, part support is dismal. It's beyond horrendous. And if you're not dealing with top tier manufacturers and you have your folks and your boots on the ground over there doing QC, managing the product and the parts, the supply chain, I mean, you can forget about getting any type of, reliable support.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you guys also have your chairs built. And I don't know if you've diversified much in terms of factories, but you build through good factories, and you, like you said, like Wizard and the people you have on the boots on the ground, they can, they represent you. They can make sure that you get the things that you need done.
Absolutely. I mean, we heard stories where, if you thought you bought 100 black chairs and they show up and they're red, once you open that container, you own it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough deal, man. That's tough. So people don't realize that. They think it's easy to get into. As a PS to that story, that she has not brought it up since, and that was quite a few months ago. That I think it was way too much work. Listening. Well, you know what? Since I've been in the industry, and it's been 21 years in May, I have thought I should bring in my own line of chairs, and I have seriously considered it. It was part of my original business plan, but I don't know. I think I'm too old now to even try to imagine beginning a venture like that, and all the logistics associated with it. Oh my gosh, it's exhausting just thinking about it. But anyways,
you're a smart man, doctor.
Huh?
You're a smart man.
I'm a smart man.
You figured it out. As David Figger likes to say, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's a big animal.
That's a good way to say it. We need to get David on one day, because product development. Some companies just import the chairs however they come out of the factory. But I know you guys have you guys play a role in the development of the chairs that you want. There may be a basic frame and a basic roller mechanism or whatever coming from that factory, but you guys have a lot of input into the programming, and I don't even know how much you do into the design and whatnot of your chairs, but
everything.
Yeah, there you go.
There's not a chair that comes over that David hasn't touched. The fit, the finish, the features, the functionality, the programming, what it does, when it does it. I mean, literally from the ground up, doctor.
I heard an interesting comment from one of my delivery guys. I think it was maybe in Southern California, but they said no, it was Stan and his wife Lindsay here in Utah. They said, man, Infinity packs their chairs well, and I'd never heard that before. But it piqued my interest when they said that, because you just expect them all to kind of come the same. But they said that you pack your chairs so much more secure than most of the other chairs, if not all the other chairs that they get. And I had never thought of that or even heard that before.
Doctor, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but who the primary 2 or 3 brands are in the U.S. And I always make the analogy when if you're buying an HP computer, that's how I would expect any product I'm buying at a price point that's more than $20. I expect it to be packaged properly. Yeah. I expect it to have great instructions, manuals, videos, etc. And as you know, to your installation gentleman that told you, it's packed very well because it should be. And I think the best of the best, the top 2 or 3 brands, I think would all fall into that umbrella.
Yeah. Well, it's something I never really thought about. They all look well packed to me, but someone who takes them apart every day and assembles them, that was very noticeable for them. And I thought that was cool. I didn't know that. Didn't realize that. In terms of the overall growth, you alluded to earlier that you felt like the growth it's continuing to grow. And, I remember when 2008 hit, and I had just sold my chiropractic practice, and I'd been doing the online thing for 3 years. And we were going to open a store. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, now there's a recession. The very month, I think it was June of that year, 2008, we were supposed to move out of the clinic and move into this showroom that I'd started renting. And I was so discouraged. I thought, who's going to buy a bloody massage chair in a recession? And the sales went up. And then again, when COVID hit, sales went up again. Of course, nobody could go to a massage therapist or go out anywhere, but I have a lot of faith in the strength of the industry. And of course, you probably look at indicators, market indicators and things like that, that kind of paint a picture for you. But do you have any input about that in terms of the growth of the industry that may be a little more particular than just, it's a good market?
Well, historically, we track import records, and the industry used to double about every 4 years, and we've seen that accelerate. I think what we're all seeing, doctor, is the health and wellness boom. Everybody figuring out you have one body, you better take care of it. I mean, it's kind of classic, the sense of urgency for the customer whose chair is broken. How soon can you get it fixed? I can't have my massage tomorrow. I mean, that lends itself to, I think, the U.S. population as a whole how much the health and wellness kind of boom has taken over. What people don't understand in the U.S., massage was an Asian therapy. That's why massage chairs came out of Asia. But the household population in Japan, Taiwan, China, massage chairs are mainstream. They're everywhere because they've kind of figured out what that does for your health and well-being. And I've always said I feel like in the U.S. we're on the bell curve. I feel like we're literally like on the precipice of taking off on the bell curve where, in another 5 or 10 years, the majority of homes are going to have massage chairs, and based on the benefits of, for your health and your well-being and your longevity. I go through spurts, doctor. It's really funny. I mean, I'm honest as the day is long. I go through spurts when I'm not getting a massage as often. And I've been on a spurt for about 3 weeks where I'm trying to do it every single day. And it's just amazing how incredible I feel when I do it every single day. And we have a brand ambassador that he preaches that when he's talking to the consumer. It's like exercise. It's like sleep. If you massage every single day, you're going to be amazed at how incredible you feel. And that's coming from a guy who's going to be 61 in a couple of weeks here. Like it has such a positive impact in your life. And as more people figure that out, I don't see this industry going backwards anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, and I feel the same way as you. And I do suspect that, I think kind of like the cream will rise to the top, and a lot of the garbage stuff will just kind of fall off by the wayside quietly. But I think the big players who are, when I say big players, I don't necessarily mean big in volume, but just the players that do it right, build their chairs in good factories, good quality control, good support, good warranty, good logistical processes. I think it's eventually going to just kind of, I don't know if it's narrowing down, or it'll become a more refined industry. It's always seemed like the Wild West, just people coming out. I'm selling a chair. I got a new chair. And it's almost, I don't know. I think the market, there doesn't need to be any government intervention for that. I just think the industry will regulate itself.
Well, I think, Doctor, I mean, we've always appreciated who you are as a professional because you're so candid and honest. And I think as more and more people realize, if you're looking for a massage chair, you better buy it from a reputable company that's been around. The disposable chairs, as you call them, I love that term. You get what you pay for. If it seems too cheap to be good, it probably is. Yeah. And you may end up with a decent product, but if the company's no longer there to support it in 12 months and your chair breaks, whether it was you paid $2,000 or $8,000 for it, it's now a paperweight. It's a piece of junk. So I think hopefully the more and more that's out there, the more that's commonplace. When people do their research, when they hear those horror stories, I think it will narrow the scope of who the legitimate brands are, and hopefully, well, all the major brands, as you know, and I won't get into names, will benefit from that as the kind of the fly-by-nights, kind of dissipate and go away.
Yeah, I agree, and it doesn't mean another great company can show up and start up a massage chair business that's legitimate and does all the right things. The market's always open to that, but I think if you're going to come into the industry, take it seriously and consider the I don't know, just think about the end consumer. Are you going to be leaving them hanging, or are you going to be able to support them?
It's exactly what you looked at, Doctor, when you decided not to do it. It's a complicated business between your supply chain, but what it takes to support the product in the field, from customer service, tech support, and just the parts aspect. I mean, I forget our director of operations. I know you know her name, Megan Daly. I think we have something like 60,000 parts in our database. I mean, it's a giant monster, and to try to go into the industry, you would have to have a tremendous amount of capital and some serious backing today, I think, to start a massage chair brand and take it anywhere.
Yeah. And the money's going to run out if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Alan, years ago, you actually did a video showing a higher end product. I believe it was ours versus some of the stuff that people see on Amazon, eBay, that, you know, that may look like a higher quality product, but when you actually open it up, the quality of the mechanism, the wood that's in there, that's stapled, not sewed. I mean, you did a great job explaining that and showing, I think, the consumers that follow you of the difference, the quality of what you're getting. I mean, in today's world, unfortunately, every product is like that, right? I mean, look at the mattress industry. I mean, you can buy a mattress for $100 that looks like a $3,000-$4,000 mattress, but at the end of the day, it's the quality of it, the warranty of it, the service behind it, you know, and who's going to stand behind it at the end of the day. And the same thing when it comes to furniture. I mean, how many different chairs are out there? I mean, the chairs that we're sitting in, it might be $25 somewhere, it might be $1,200, you know, and they all kind of look similar, but at the end of the day, it's the quality and who's supporting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Couldn't say it any better. The only advantage of the cheaper chairs is that it allows some people to get into the market, right? And that's my contention. Like I'm not a big fan of cheap chairs because we see the fallout with our customers that buy them and then are left hanging. But at least the cheap chairs will get people into the market. And, it does serve a purpose, but I recommend getting into something. If you love it and it becomes a real part of your health and wellness program, get into a good chair quickly because that chair is not going to last, you know.
Doctor, it's funny. You said that, I think, on one of our interviews over the years, the benefit of low-cost chairs. And it's, you know, all the luxury car brands have done the same thing. They've come out with the lowest cost possible automobile to get people into their brand, right? And I agree with 100%. And I've said that story. I've told that story probably, if I said it once, I probably said it 20, 30 times, Doctor, that the low-cost chairs, that we know what they are, but the benefit is that they expose somebody to the benefits of massage therapy and send them down the right road. Yeah. They're most likely, once that chair breaks in 6 months or 12 months, they're going to go back out and they're going to get a quality product.
Yeah. Yeah, because they'll know they need to get better quality. But speaking of the products, I do see a trend amongst the brand name chairs, including yourselves, where you're coming out with some new models that are that can cater to a lower budget, and you guys have usually had a really good distribution of pricing through all your models. But this might be a good time to segue into the new models you have. You've come out with 4 brand new ones, and we already have actually more than 4, but we've got two of the new ones in our showrooms, most of our showrooms, the Circadian Dual Flex and the Solstice. But Michael, maybe take some time and go into the new models for us, introduce them to us.
Yeah, and so 100%. So, you know, like Jim mentioned earlier, I mean, Infinity is very well diversified. So we always need to be keeping up with technology, right? Always want to try to be above the curve when it comes to innovation and what's out in the marketplace today. So, you know, all our channels are always getting revamps or getting new product. And in this past 12 months, you know, we did launch a lot of new and are launching in the next 30 to 60 days, a lot of new products for, you know, the retail division, some online stuff, you know, within business to business and whatnot. So, but the ones that, you know, that we really have been concentrating on and that reflects for what you do is kind of the brick and mortar retailers that you have your locations and online. And to touch on that, you talked about having some lower price point chairs, right?
Yeah.
So one of the newer ones that we actually just got inventory in, we launched about 4 SKUs at January Vegas Furniture Market.
Yeah.
Is called the Zanara, and the Zanara is going to be a $29.99 chair. Yeah. You know, what's really nice about this product and something that Infinity has always done, no matter the size of the chair, we've always built chairs to fit bigger people, right? You know, a lot of these factories out there and brands in the United States today, a lot of the chairs have smaller footprints, but they're really tight. Like, you know, you've seen it in the back, you know, in the past that you can't fit someone 5'7", 5'8" in the chair, or if they're over 225 pounds, they might not fit. They're built more for that petite body.
Yeah.
The Zanara going in at a $29.99 price point is going to fit someone out to about 6'4", 6'5". Really? And another thing that we're doing with a lot of the new chairs is we're introducing new colors. You know, Infinity has always been kind of your standard browns and blacks and whatnot.
Right.
But in furniture is always a good place to look at. The furniture industry as a whole, the browns and the creams are coming back into today's designs. So a lot of our product are gonna be having more of that lighter color version that I'm sure you've seen from other brands out in the industry today. In the Zanaro, it is going to come in a light tan color, and it's also going to have our typical black, if you will, with gray accents. But what's really nice about it is all of our chairs, even starting at the $29.90 price point, are going to have tablets from start to finish. I like to call this tablet a phablet because it looks like a tablet. It's more of a touch type screen, but it does have a actual tablet on the chair itself. All of our chairs have lumbar heat. They have the infrared scanning, everything from foot rollers that Infinity's always been known for from the beginning of always having multiple sets of foot rollers in the chair. And then we're also, like you mentioned earlier, that the Solstice is new. However, we did launch it towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
I remember, Doctor, you almost didn't even want to bring that chair into your showroom, and I convinced you to get it. And then I want to say you must have sold almost close to double digits during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Especially you guys in Salt Lake City, you were selling it really well.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of separates that chair, not only the price point of being $39.99, which again, entry level price point, getting someone into the massage family, but having a bigger chair, having a real working tablet on it, having the Bluetooth, the wall hugging capability, kind of all the features that, a couple of years ago, we used to have to get in a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 chair, never mind a $39.99 chair.
It feels like a more expensive chair when you're in it. That's how I felt.
100%. I mean, that chair took us a while to develop because it's really hard to get a high quality product and to hit that price point. Yeah. So to be able to really find the right product to do that, it takes some time. And that I thought was a big win. I mean, again, you sold a handful of them during the holiday season and have them throughout your showroom. We're actually going to be bringing back an old name, and that chair is launching this month. It's the Celebrity. If you remember back in the day, the Infinity Celebrity, which was an amazing chair that we built probably back in 2013, 14, 15. So the name always, really brought some resonance to the massage chair category as a whole. So we brought it back as the Celebrity Elite. Yeah. This is going to be a chair that's going to be, believe it or not, a $54.99 price point. It's going to take over our old Riage 4D price point. Okay. This is going to be an oversized chair, 4D, L-track. It's going to have a lighter color in that cream version. Also have the browns, again, that are very popular in the furniture industry today, and for people's homes. So it's and to add to it, a lot of people, that we've seen and we've talked to, especially when you have, I would say my grandparents, right? I mean, maybe some of, your friends that you may know, a lot of the circulation as we get older isn't as good, right? So a lot of times you want people, their feet are cold. Like my grandmother would always want to put blankets on her feet. So all of our chairs now, from this price point up, we do have feet heat in the chair, which again, I know you hear about here and there, but it's normally in your $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 products that you start having multiple areas of heat. So we actually have heat and lumbar in the Celebrity Elite. It does have voice control. You can talk to the chair and have it respond back to you, tell it what massage you want. And then a nice thing as well is that we actually, the quick access buttons that are on a lot of chairs today, we made this chair more sleek and kind of fit in an everyday household. Because I'm sure you hear it a lot. I know my wife's the same way. She's like, I'm never putting one of those in my house, right? It's the look of it. They're ugly. I think your wife said the same thing. And then when we brought them home, they're using them multiple times a week. So this chair in particular, we made really sleek, wrapped in PU leather, the whole thing. All those quick access buttons that kind of get, in my opinion, ugly on some chairs. We actually hid them inside the armrest so that when the customer is in the chair getting their massage, they don't need to take their arms outside of the arm airbags to make any adjustments and control. It's actually right at their fingertips.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So, really nice new feature. The next chair is kind of taking place of our, I would say, the famous Gen Max. The Genesis model has been around for years, and we've made multiple different updates to it. The Sensation that's coming out will be a dual flex 4D chair.
Okay.
So dual mechanism, flex track. What we're really excited about this chair is the price point. A lot of high-end dual mech chairs are in your 10,000s or higher, right? They're 10, 11, 12, 13,000. This chair is going to be it's going to be priced at $84.99. So a customer is going to be able to get into a very high-end dual mech flex chair below $9,000, which we think is going to be a big hit. We were able to preview this chair at Vegas Market. We got great results with it. We will be getting inventory in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. We already have pre-sales on it. So this chair I think is going to be a win. You'll probably add it to your showroom. This is going to be in, an oversized tablet with, of course, the quick access controls, your normal cell phone charger, the wireless charger on it. You're going to have AI custom massage, which is a little bit different than your body health sensing. So this chair, of course, is going to have the body health sensing where someone can put their finger on the monitor. It's going to record their blood pressure, record their heart rate, and then it gives a fatigue index. And it's all based off of the results that they get, which then gives the customer multiple options of what the chair recommends at that time for them based on the results. The difference with this, what we call an AI massage, is it's more in a manual program where you're actually able to, and I've never seen this before, but you're actually able to set 5 different areas of the roller track itself and be able to have the mech doing 5 different massage techniques at 5 different intensity levels. So if you were really sore at your neck, you could have that on 4D level 1, and you could be doing tapping. As it moves down 3 to 4 inches, it can transition by itself to going to kneading and at level 5, because maybe you have a knot in that area. So it's a different technology than we've seen out in the marketplace, where the customer can actually control not only the depth, but the massage technique from top to bottom of the roller track itself.
No, now you're talking about if it's a full spinal massage.
Yep.
You can adjust it for each segment in the course of that full body massage.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So it's not. Yeah, you can isolate it to the low back, and you can just stay there and have your own intensity and have it do kneading and tapping.
Well, as it's actually moving. So instead of doing a point massage or a targeted massage that many people are used to in the manual programs of chairs, you can have it run the whole track. And as it's running down the track, depending on what you adjusted it to, it can change 5 different times to 5 different massage techniques, but also 5 different depths. So that's cool. Depending on where you're sore, where you're not hurting, where you're hurting, what you want to concentrate on, it will adjust on its own as it's moving up and down.
Well, I've seen segmental intensity adjustments very seldom. I think there's only one other chair that does that, but to do that plus have it change the modality to kneading or tapping or whatever in midstream of a program, it's pretty cool. I've never heard of that before.
And on top of that too, kind of just a last thing with that is with the sensation as a whole is it does have the memory settings. I know a lot of people don't think that's a wow factor. I know when you have a chair at a household with multiple users, it's really nice to have what we call my memory. And that is where, I can set up a massage on the position that I want it in, 0 gravity wise. I can have the roller sitting on my neck, just the foot airbags on, nothing else. I can save it. And then my wife can do the same of what she likes and then get back into the next day. So multiple different My Memory auto programs in the chair that you can save. Yeah. It's very similar. It's like when you get in your car, you have the front seat saving number 1, number 2. Yeah. So it is a nice feature to have. So this chair will have that as well.
Nice.
The chair that you mentioned earlier, the Circadian Dual Flex, this is going to be essentially our new top of the line chair. This is going to be a recommended price of $11,999, so $12,000.
Yeah.
You've sold a handful of these already out of your locations. This is a very high end, sturdy dual mech flex track. That's one of the longest tracks in the industry, right? It also has multiple foot rollers, which is a little bit different. A lot of chairs out there have 1, maybe 2 sets of foot rollers, where Infinity has always been known to do either 3 or more, right? Yeah. So we have 3 sets of foot rollers, 2 sets of calf rollers, and on top of it, you get that calf oscillation that I'd say almost every customer enjoys. A big thing with this chair of having a dual mech is you're actually able to independently control the top mech and the bottom mech. So you can have each mechanism doing its own thing completely. Right. And then arm rollers. Arm rollers was a big update to this chair. We have 3 sets of arm rollers that are underneath the forearm of the customer sitting in it. But on top of it, you don't lose the arm airbags. We have the arm airbags on top, so they still get that compression therapy that they want inside their armrest. It's going to come with your AI body health sensing, where again, it's going to read your blood pressure, your blood oxygen level, your heart rate, and it's going to be able to, give you a program based on your results. Yeah. Another thing with this chair that was exciting is that we actually teamed up with Harman Kardon. So if, a lot of high-end cars, BMWs, they all have Harman Kardon speaker systems in the chair. So Harman Kardon built our speakers for the Circadian Dual Flex. So great surround sound system in the chair while you're getting a massage as well.
Great sound.
Yeah. Those are, I'm excited to see them. My wife and I got to find some time, but we want to come there. I've talked to you about this on the phone. I want to come over there and try the Zanara, the Celebrity, and the Sensation. Of course, we have the Solstice and the Circadian. Yeah.
You have family in Jersey, right?
Yeah, my daughter lives in New Jersey.
Yeah,
we'll combine it. We'll make it a family and Widener family and Infinity family trip. So yeah, but I'd like to get out there and try those out. The guys are interested in it, in those models, and the Solstice. Like you said earlier, you kind of talked me. You didn't talk me into it, but I had just passed it off, and you kind of made me realize that you're missing out on a good chair, and we were. I
want to call you out, but you almost had me cancel the order, and I didn't take the cancellation.
Yeah. It's like having another wife that's telling me, checking me for
I've
what
been called worse. It's fine.
I'm not doing, but no, I appreciate that because it really has done well in our Utah store, and then I think 2 of the other stores, Arizona and I think Southern California, also got the chairs. But it's kind of a staple now in our showroom mindset. We love that chair, and it's a good feeling chair. I sat on it the other day just to kind of refresh my memory, and I really like that chair. It's a good one. I don't know what we were thinking, but anyways, thanks for straightening me out. But I'm interested in the Sensation. I think that's got some interesting features. I'm eager to try that out too.
Yeah, the price point alone and the actual features and benefits that come with it, I think is what we're excited about. And then, of course, the customer is going to be even more excited about, where they don't need to spend $10,000 or more, to get a dual mech flex chair. Those price points did come down a little bit, but we were able to build a high quality product for you to resell.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very pleased with it. And it's a good broad array of options of chairs. And that's what we need. We don't just need high end, $10,000 chairs. We need the lower end too. And that's because, that online advertising that these no name or off brand name chairs are doing, what they're doing is they're setting the market, because people come to us all the time and say, yeah, we just want a chair that's between $2,000 and $3,000. Well, that's what all those cheap chairs are selling for. But again, we're dealing with quality issues and factory issues and parts issues, et cetera, et cetera. But now I'm like to have the Zanara. I'm interested to try that one out. Of course, the Solstice they're all in very, very far more reasonable price ranges than the way the chairs had been going for a number of years, which was up. So it's good to see some of these comebacks at a lower price.
And we'll have too as well. I mentioned the Celebrity Elite, which will be a $54.99 chair. We actually are working on finalizing a chair in between the Celebrity and the Sensation. So the price point will actually go from $54.99 up to $69.99, which is kind of like that Smart Chair X3 price point, if you will. And then you'll go up to the $84.99 price point. So we'll have some really nice tiers.
Good.
As the customer's looking at the product in your store, to kind of see what they're actually getting as they move up in price point with great feature sets.
Yeah, I like that. That's great. Gives us options. Now we just need the room.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we want to carry that chair. What do we have to get rid of? And I know, Michael, you'll tell me exactly what chair to get rid of.
I was gonna say, do you want me to tell you?
I know you would like to tell me. And but we want to make it. We love the Infinity company and the product offering. It's always been very good. So we'll just get whatever we can. We'll just fit it into the showroom, whatever we can, and make allowance for it. But
we'll get you set up with the entire product line, Doctor.
Ty, what?
We'll get you set up with the entire product line.
Well, that's what Michael's been wanting me to do all along. Just why carry anything else?
There you go. You said it.
We appreciate your commitment to your brand. That's for sure. But you guys have been fantastic today. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. And we just have one. There's only one comment from somebody named Maiva Findison saying, "Don't let the old man in." LOL. Who's that? Is that me or is that you, Jim?
It must be me. I mean, I used to have brown hair, when I was a lot skinnier when we started this business. Now I'm old, fat, and gray. So,
well, you look great, Jim. You don't look any different to me. Of course, I'm old and fat and gray too, and I still think I look good too. But anyways, you look just fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, and we'll my wife and I will
be
coming up there, and I'll give you a heads up beforehand. Make sure you guys are there, but it'd be nice to see you again, and
that'd be great. Try
out the chairs with you and renew our friendship. But all right,
thanks for having us on.
Hey, you bet, you guys. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.
We'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Massage Chair Relief Live podcast. Subscribe to this podcast and be notified of each episode. Check out our main website at massagechairrelief.com for much more valuable information on the massage chair industry and marketplace.